What's up, family? Coming to you from our underground studios in the heart of the 330. This is DJTen, and welcome to What's Hot at the 10 Spot. We're that place on your radio dial where funky jazz meets R&B, hip-hop, neo-soul, and old-school funk. Only on the radioactive 1WBOB, where we play more of what you listen to the radio for. Family, it is finally summertime in the city. We're starting to turn the corner on the COVID pandemic, at least for now. And concert venues are heating up all over the country. Obviously, there's still some pressing issues in front of us. Just a few days ago, we observed National Gun Violence Day, at a moment in time where we're seeing an unprecedented number of our neighbors fall victim to gun violence in the U.S. And we'll speak a little bit about that during tonight's Word on the Street segment. But for now, it's hot fun in the city no matter what your zip code. Joining us tonight for our first summertime block party in 2021, we've got some brand new jams from Cool Million, Claudia Hayden, the Jazz Holdouts, David Garfield, and Elon Trotman, along with a few of my favorite cuts by Charlie Wilson, Funky Boy, Childish Gambino, Brandon Lane, Jakeem Joyner, Jarez of the Barcades. So sit back and settle in with a summertime libation and get in a party-hardy mood as we talk a little politics and pop culture and count down what's hot and popping on my playlist this week. The artist opening tonight's show is relatively new to the music scene, and when I looked him up to get some background information that I could share with you tonight, there wasn't much out there. And when I stalked him on his Facebook page, in his About section, he asked the question, do people really take time to read this section? Well, yeah, bro, I kind of sort of do. But on the real, he did say that he's just a laid-back guy with goals and aspirations that he's currently working towards. And based on everything that I've heard thus far, he's well on his way to achieving them. And we're extremely happy to add him to our playlist. With his new single and a tune that is designed to have you feeling like that first day of the work week is a state of mind and not a state of being. With the number 10 cut on this week's hot list, this is Philip Patterson and Monday.
Let's take it to
Family, if there is any duo in the business who've managed to capture the funk and soul sound of the 80s and brought it into the 2000s, it's the Cats closing out that opening set. With their fresh new single and the number 9 cut on this week's hot list, that was Cool Million and Next Level. I'm DJTen, and you've got your internet radio dial locked onto What's Hot at the 10 spot on Radioactive 1 WBOB. The musician opening this next set is an internationally renowned producer, composer, and live performer based in Harlem, New York City. Originally from Baton Rouge and a graduate of Southern University, she learned piano and flute as a child, studying under pioneers like the acclaimed jazz clarinetist Alvin Batiste and flutist Kent Jordan. With her latest single featuring Pamela Williams and the number 8 cut this week, this is Claudia Hayden and Central Park West.
that you love me, and the next it feels like you don't even care. You don't need to play these games. All I need to know is what's going on inside your head. Tell me, baby, if you love me, if you need me, say it like you mean it real good, baby. If you love me, if you need me, say it like you mean it real good, baby. If you love me, if you need me, say it like you mean it real good, baby. If you love me, if you need me, say it like you mean it real good, baby. Why do you do these things? What do you think is gained by playing games with my heart? Do you think at times I can't see that you're only acting out the part? Either you do or don't, or you will or won't. All I wanna know is what it is. Can't you tell me straight? There's no need to fake. I don't wanna be your pity cake. No, no, no. If you love me, if you need me, say it like
I'm sure it's pure coincidence that the artist taking us out of that set was born in Saint Etienne, France, a city that just recently joined our global neighborhood. My first exposure to her as a vocalist was a cut on one of my favorite bass players, Mitchell Coleman Jr. With a cut that's a smooth blend of jazz vocals with a twist of that old school R&B dance floor flavor. From her latest project on the number 7 cut this week, that was Anissa and Gonna Be Alright. Before we get back to the music, I'd like to take a moment to welcome some new folks to our global neighborhood. A special shout out to our new listeners in Lansing, Michigan, Fort Worth and Allen, Texas, and Los Angeles, California. And as we mentioned on our last show, our global neighborhood has now grown to over 50 countries worldwide, with the latest being 2 more cities from France, India, and the United Kingdom. Again, we look forward to connecting with you in person. So be sure to hit us up on social media or visit our newly revised website, Radioactive1WBOB. For those of you fresh on the block, our mission is to inform, enlighten, and entertain. So while you're in the neighborhood, be sure to check out our online newspaper On the Corner and our blog Back on the Block for relevant news, music, and concert announcements and conversation just for us grown folks. We've been working hard to make our website that place where you come for the party and stay for the education and information. You're listening to What's Hot at the 10 Spot on Radioactive 1WBOB, where we play more of what you listen to the radio for. I'm DJTen, and we'll be back with more music and conversation with grown folks after these messages.
Hi, this is Nathan East inviting you to shake off the pandemonium and join me in Tahiti, April 23rd through the 30th, 2022 for Sandy Shore's Jazz Weekender South Pacific, hosted by yours truly on board the world's most luxurious mid-sized ship, the MS Paul Gauguin. Fully chartered by Carmel Monterey Travel and limited to only 300 passengers, we'll sail around Tahiti and the Society Islands in the French Polynesia. In addition to my band of brothers featuring Greg Fillinganes, Michael Thompson, and Steve Ferroni, Sandy and I have invited Foreplay to reboot and reunite with my fellow founders Bob James and Harvey Mason, along with special guest guitarist Robin Ford. We've also confirmed Patty Austin, Ray Parker Jr., and Kirk Whalum, and special musical showcases with Justin Lee Schultz, Malin, and Sylvia Bennett, plus the world's most dangerous after party with the Pete Project nightly on the aft deck. Baby, let's cruise away from here. See you in Tahiti in 2022.
Book your cabin now for Sandy Shore's Jazz Weekender South Pacific for 7 days and nights floating from Papeete to Moorea to Bora Bora. Limited to only 300 passengers. Visit CarmelMontereyTravel.com or call 831-649-4292. Powered by SmoothJazz.com Global.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
This is international smooth jazz keyboardist and 3-time Grammy nominee, Chan Hall. You're listening to music from his latest release, Something to Prove, featuring special guests, including Bill McGee, Marcus Anderson, and Tony Craddock Jr. Something to Prove is available now in the smoothjazz.com listening loft. And at chanhalljazz.com.
The artist opening this next set first gained prominence as a radio host back in the 1990s on the radio station 99 Jams in South Florida. He later gained popularity as the DJ for the hip-hop group Terror Squad. He released his debut studio album in 2006, which went gold and was followed up with a number of charted releases, with the most notable being his triple platinum hit, All I Do Is Win. from his latest project, Khaled, featuring Justin Timberlake, with the number 6 jam on my hot list. This is DJ Khaled with Just Be.
Yeah.
We the best music.
Another one. Yeah.
DJ Khaled.
I'm getting on my own way. 'Cause these days I ain't trying to complicate things. My heart's in the right place. I'm setting my intentions, manifesting good change. And life gets hard, but a purpose. It's gotta make the bad days worth the tears. So I'll just be still, be still. 'Cause things are happening that I can't see. And if I got patience, then I got peace. I have to let go, let go, let go of everything. And watch what happens when I break free. And just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. I'm moving like the wind, yeah. Smooth and easy, just flowing. Trusting myself to work it out. Wherever life got me going. Mindful of the future. Still grateful for the past. If all I got is right here and right now, I'ma make the moment last. 'Cause things are happening that I can't see. And if I got patience, then I got peace. I have to let go, let go, let go of everything. And watch what happens when I break free. And just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. I ain't worried about a storm, 'cause I'm built for any weather, yeah, that's what I know. How do I get my flowers if I don't stand strong and watch my flowers grow? I'm focused on the future, but grateful for the past. If all I got is right here and right now, I'ma make the moment last. 'Cause things are happening that I can't see. And if I got patience, then I got peace. I have to let go, let go, let go of everything. And watch what happens when I break free. And just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me. Just be, just be, just be me.
Always be you. Khaled. Justin Timberlake.
Another one.
An extraordinary musician with a take-no-prisoners performance attitude. The New York guitarist and Berklee School of Music grad taking us out of that set has graced the stage night after night, touring on his own or with reggae legend Maxi Priest, and bringing it with his own vibe of smooth jazz, reggae, and R&B. He's had multiple Billboard charting singles, including the one which just happens to be the number 5 hit on my hot list this week. From his latest LP, Cocktails and Jazz, with his Billboard number 1 smash hit, that was J.J. Sanseverino and Style and Elegance. I'm DJTen, and you're listening to What's Hot at the 10 Spot, where we're old school for life. Next up is an artist who's recorded and or performed with everyone from Smokey Robinson, Cher, Larry Carlton, Spinal Tap, George Benson, the Manhattan Transfer, the Rippingtons, Freddie Hubbard, Boss Skaggs, and Natalie Cole. So it should be no surprise that his portfolio is made up of such an eclectic mix of music genres. With a bluesy little number from his new LP and the number 4 cut this week, this is David Garfield with Shufflin' Nashville. From their hot new single and this week's number 3 cut on my hot list, that was the Jazz Holdouts in April and May. Family, before we get into tonight's word on the street, I have to first inform you that the views and opinions in my commentary are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of our advertisers and supporters. Now that we've taken care of our legal obligations, I'd like to take a few minutes to revisit a topic that we've had some conversation about on more than one occasion. First, let me say this. 2020 was a memorable year for so many reasons. With the exception of the birth of my grandson, Noah, from a personal perspective, it was a year of great personal loss. From the onset of the pandemic in March of 2020 to March of 2021, I attended 6 funerals of individuals who I considered to be a part of my extended family, 2 of whom died as a result of gun violence. On our last show, we touched on the record number of firearms purchased in the United States last year. What we didn't discuss was the inevitability of increased gun violence when you combine the stress of being on lockdown because of the pandemic and the social climate associated with the 2020 election, along with the proliferation of guns in the U.S. What seemed like this country going to hell in a handbasket in 2020 in some ways looked even worse as we moved into 2021. With an estimated 40 million firearms sold last year, 2021 is on pace to be America's deadliest year of gun violence in the last 2 decades. According to the Gun Violence Archive, 23,711 people have died thus far this year from gun violence. In a study of 24 major cities, homicides increased by 24% in the first quarter of 2021 compared with the same period in 2020, and by 49% from that period in 2019. In 2021, homicides are up by nearly 14% in New York, 22% in Los Angeles, and 13% in Washington, D.C. compared to 2020. At least 150 people were killed by gun violence in more than 400 shootings across the country during the 4th of July weekend alone. Locally, we had a father kill his wife and his 5 and 13-year-old children before taking his own life on Father's Day. And don't get it twisted and assume that gun violence is just an inner-city problem. Late last month, an 8-year-old boy along with a 9-year-old playmate were charged with involuntary manslaughter in the shooting death of a 62-year-old man in South Carolina while he was on his tractor clearing weeds on his property. With the devastating impact these numbers have had on our communities across the country, you'd think this would not be a partisan issue, but with the lunatic fringe that's taken over the Republican Party, the likelihood of any meaningful gun legislation coming out of Washington isn't something that we can expect any time in the near future. In the past, after a horrific incident like the one at the FedEx location in Indianapolis or the ones in Georgia and Colorado, along with the usual thoughts and prayers, there would be some kind of lukewarm bipartisan agreement that something had to be done as the majority of Americans cried out for some type of preventative measures from state legislators and federal lawmakers. Republicans would offer some ineffectual Band-Aid solution that meant nothing. Democrats would counter with something a little more substantial, but after the Second Amendment activists led by the NRA's Wayne LaPierre would sweep in and oppose even those small measures, that would be the end of it until the next mass shooting. But now, the so-called Family Values Party, the Republican Party, has even moved past the NRA and other Second Amendment extremists, and we've seen the results of this new extreme gun proliferation activism in Congress with the election of freshman representatives like Lauren Boebert, a Republican from Colorado, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican from Georgia, and Madison Cawthorn, Republican from North Carolina, all of whom have flaunted their devotion to firearms, even demanding that they be allowed to carry them on the floor of Congress. There have been several incidents since the January 6th insurrection in which Republican representatives have attempted to bring their guns through metal detectors. And they aren't the only ones. In the Senate last month, we saw the likes of Republican Senators Ted Cruz from Texas, John Kennedy of Louisiana, Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, and Tom Cotton of Arkansas all make it clear that not only don't they think that gun violence is a problem, but they also believe people should be packing in order to defend themselves against Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Not to mention be ready for some vigilante work on behalf of the police, who they apparently don't mind seeing hit over the head with flagpoles and baseball bats as long as it's for the cause. Back in 2013, we did a show titled No Santa for the 91. The premise of the program was that, based on figures again provided by the nonprofit group Gun Violence Archive, during the months leading up to Christmas 2013, 91 children under the age of 11 were victims of gun violence and would not be opening presents on Christmas morning. So far this year, that number is 166. Family, with the estimated 400 million guns, that's about 121 firearms in circulation for every 100 residents. The United States is by far the most heavily armed society in America. And like the COVID-19 pandemic, they are killing us off at an alarming rate. Although it doesn't go quite far enough, President Biden's proposed strategy to at least take illegal guns off the street is a step in the right direction and deserves every consideration by Congress. It will probably never see the light of day if Republicans have their way. We have far too many illegal weapons that are falling into the wrong hands, and we have to try to find those illegal weapons and take them off the street. Who'd have thunk that a policy of zero tolerance for gun dealers who break federal law, deploying strike teams to cities to crack down on illegal gun trafficking, and encouraging communities to use federal pandemic relief funds for policing and crime prevention would be too radical for the GOP? But who'd have thought that the grand old party, the party of Lincoln, would put millions of Americans at risk with their COVID vaccine denial and also aid and abet in an assault on our democracy? I'm DJTen. We'll be back with more music and conversation with Grove folks after these messages.
You're listening to Back on the Block, your place in cyberspace for the most unique blend of music, news, and conversation on issues and events that impact our community.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Get ready for Blast Off on an intergalactic journey. With Jeff Lorber Fusion's latest, Space Time, on Shawnee Entertainment. The Grammy-winning keyboardist, producer, and composer teams with cohorts Jimmy Haslip and Gary Novak, along with special guests Hubert Laws, Bob Mincer, Paul Jackson Jr., Gerald Albright, and more. Elon Musk has nothing on this launch. Jeff Lorber Fusion's Space Time can be yours now in the smoothjazz.com listening loft, and track the artist at lorber.com.
The way I describe it for people is my dad shot himself and the bullet hit everyone in his life. It was a week before my 30th birthday, and I had this impulse to call him, but I didn't, because I thought I could call him later that week.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. With safe gun storage, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Family, as we get older, we tend to reflect back on those things in our past that as an adult you see from a whole different perspective. And it causes you to wonder about its long-term effect that it might have had on your development. That last spot about children and gun safety really hits home for me. A seminal moment in my early childhood occurred when I was in the 6th grade, and it would leave a lasting impression on me for years to come. To make a long story short, one Friday just before recess, a classmate of mine asked if I could spend the night. I told him I'd have to check with my mom, and I'd let him know when I got back from lunch. At that time, my mother was battling cancer, and on this particular Friday, she wasn't feeling well and told me I needed to be home to help with my younger brothers and sister. When I returned to school, I informed my buddy, and he in turn asked one of our other classmates, who ultimately did end up spending the night with our mutual friend. That next morning, while playing with his father's improperly stored gun, he actually shot and killed our classmate. I've been a staunch advocate of sensible gun control laws for as long as I can remember, and I can't help but think losing my good friend Philip under those circumstances didn't have something to do with that. You know, family, there are a lot of things we can't control right now. But here's one thing that we can. Making sure our kids can't get their hands on an unsecured gun. Keeping guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition, because safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org, brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council. Coming to you from the heart of the 330, I'm DJTen, and you're listening to What's Hot at the 10 Spot, where there's a method to our madness and a message in our music. Although he's best known for his music accolades, including 13 Grammy and 11 NAACP Image Award nominations, what you might not be aware of is that he is also the national spokesman for the Prostate Cancer Foundation, where there's a creativity award in his name, which helps to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for researchers across the country for the development of a cure for prostate cancer. With a little something to keep our summertime block party hopping, from his album Forever Charlie, this is Uncle Charlie Wilson and Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
About that. Hey, pretty lady, you know you're bad, yes. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not the first to tell you, my pretty lady, and it won't be the last. Now, there's something about the way that you do the things that you do. Can I get a witness? This one is the S-H-I-T, yeah. I feel like summer. I feel like summer. You can feel it in the streets on a day like this. That heat, I feel like summer. She feel like summer. This feel like summer. I feel like summer. 7 billion souls that move around the sun, rolling faster, faster, not a chance to slow down. Slow down. Men who made machines that want what they desire. Parents trying to tell the children, please slow down. Slow down. I know. I know you know I'm hoping that this world will change, but it just seems the same. You can feel it in the streets on a day like this. That heat, it feels like summer. I feel like summer. I feel like summer. Every day gets hotter than the one before. Running out of water, it's about to go down. Go down. Air that kill the bees that we depend upon. Birds were made for singing, waking up to no sound. No sound. I know. I know you know I'm hoping that this world will change, but it just seems the same. I know. I hope we change. I really thought this world would change, but it seems like the same. I know.
I've been thinking maybe things were never the way we made them out to be, how we thought they were. Lately, I'm not sure. One thing for sure is when we're together, we're toxic as ever. Make no mistake, all the roads lead to we shouldn't be together. I don't know why I still play into your palm, even though I know what you want. Been twisted on you so long. Oh, cause it's complicated, far from simple. Always find a way to dodge these issues. Can't seem to shake it, not for nothing. The problem is we're not discussing all that screaming, yelling's not becoming to you. Things just can't be fixed without a time. No, you know not anymore. No, I can't wait till we find a way to part ways. Seems like your days are dark days. Seems like you're mad at the small things. And it seems like you're playing it the hard way. We fight through the night all day. I still don't know why I still play into your phone. Even though I know you, I've been twisted on you for so long, girl. Yeah. Got me twisted, I could only wait for so long, girl. Waited so long, but we got no time, no. Redeemer of passion, we both have compassion for the black diaspora and all its vastness. You in my plans, thinking of a master, the essence of your dance, the truth in your laughter that I wanna capture and cultivate stature. I'll be here for you till the hereafter. There's a clear path to the love inside you. My name's Rashid, it means I'm a guide to we both are driven. That's why we arrived to a place where now anything we can ride through. To tell the truth, I lied and been lied to. Seeker of a deeper ether, you don't have to hide you. Time to be in front, time to be beside you. I don't wanna move with nobody besides you. What do you say? Having one of them hell of a nights. Move it, baby. We can make it larger than life. Leave me, baby. Yeah. Need it, baby. Won't be around the bush like they do. Cause I see something special in you. Yeah, what do you say? Having one of them hell of a nights. Move it, baby. We can make it larger than life. Leave me, baby. Yeah. Need it, baby. Won't be around the bush like they do. Cause I see something special in you. In me, you see a leader like Stokely Omamiya. The ways of a king, honorable and sincere. To get the people freed up. The soul of a rebel with his feet up. When it feel like the world about to erupt, I'm
I'ma hold you down till you see up. Optimism that we got from wisdom. We from the same tribe and we locked the rhythm to de-block the system. We did lots of living and lots of giving. A higher vibration, but it's not religion. I wanna pour into the riches of your being. We don't diss each other even when we disagree. And let's two-step to freedom and help the world see themselves in God and every human being. You everything and you happen for a reason. Your presence is a joy to be in. Yeah.
With a little movement music from his LP, A Beautiful Revolution Part 1. That was Common with What You Say. I'm DJTen, and ain't no party like a grown folks party, and you can party with grown folks on Radioactive 1 on Live 365. That's Radioactive 1 on Live 365, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Music, news, and conversation just for us grown folks. The young musician holding down the number 2 spot on tonight's hot list is another one of the many prominent jazz musicians we've had the pleasure to catch on stage at Blue Jazz Plus in Akron, Ohio over the years. And we've been diligently checking the club's website, hoping that they'll be announcing their concert lineups soon, because he's definitely a show that I don't want to miss the next time he's in town. With his new single, this is Elon Trotman and Better Days Ahead.
your voice. I really wanna see your face again. Looking at your picture now, should have been my lover. Oh, girl, you gotta give me a chance. See, I ain't gonna treat you like a mother, man. I'ma make sure that I'll never hurt you. Right now, I'm giving up all of the girls that I met in the club. Right now, I'ma turn it up. I'm gonna be the one to make you fall in love. Right now, I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna do the things that the other two don't. Tonight, I'm gonna make believe it's your birthday. Yeah, ooh. We ain't gotta ask nobody. We don't even need permission. Girl, quit playing, let's do what grown folks do. Got all kind of fly suggestions. I'll even give you lessons. Girl, quit playing, let's do what grown folks do. And you ain't gotta wait. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can do what grown folks do. You ain't gotta wait. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can do what grown folks do. I hope you don't feel no pressure. Girl, on you be stressed. I don't wanna see your pain, and I don't want you to hurt again. I just wanna make your day. Put a smile on your face. Believe me when I say I care for you. Oh, right now, I'm giving up all of the girls that I met in the club. Right now, I'm gonna turn it up. I'm gonna be the one to make you fall in love. Right now, I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna do the things that the other two don't. Tonight, I'm gonna make believe it's your birthday. Yeah, ooh. We ain't gotta ask nobody. We don't even need permission. Girl, quit playing, let's do what grown folks do. Got all kind of fly suggestions. I'll even give you lessons. Girl, quit playing, let's do what grown folks do. And you ain't gotta wait. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can do what grown folks do. You ain't gotta wait. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can do what grown folks do. Oh, all the single young ladies up in here, get your hands up high. If you fly, oh, if you're looking good, feeling good, let me see your hands up high. If you fly, and you ain't gotta wait. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can do what grown folks do. You ain't gotta wait. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can get it now. You ain't gotta wait, girl. You can do what grown folks do.
Closing out that set with a little grown folks music. That was the Bar-Kays and Grown Folks. If you're listening to the podcast version of tonight's show, again, we invite you to tune in to Radioactive 1 WBOB on Live 365 and check out our weekly lineup, starting with the Morning Mix, which airs Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to noon, followed by America's #1 progressive talk show, the Tom Hartman program, from 12 to 3. And if you're not familiar with Tom Hartman, I can't think of a better time than now to get acquainted with Tom. In this age of information overload, it's important that the information that we do get is based on facts and not some crazy conspiracy theories and alternative reality bullshit. I'm a long-time listener of his show, and what I love most about Tom Hartman, it is that regardless of your political persuasion, Tom supports his opinions with documented facts and a knowledge of politics and history that's simply amazing and incredibly hard to dispute. So if you're looking for someone who can break down the topic of the day, you need to tune in to the Tom Hartman program weekdays from 12 to 3, followed by It's an R&B Kind of Afternoon from 3 to 7, and later Chill Out with Jazz at the corner of 10th and J Street, which airs Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to midnight. Coming to you from our underground studio in the heart of the 330, I'm DJTen, and you're listening to What's Hot at the 10 Spot on Radioactive 1 WBOB, your place in cyberspace for the most unique listening experience on the internet. Don't you dare go nowhere, because we'll be back to unveil tonight's number one cut on my hot list after these messages.
Jump into this ultra melodic and fresh new tune from the funky sax player Quentin Gerard Debbie, Sprigs of Spring. Featuring keyboardist and composer Jacob Webb. Sprigs of Spring is available everywhere you stream your music, including the smoothjazz.com listing loft and QuentinGerardW.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peebo Bryson.
The Low Country Jazz Festival, South Carolina's premier annual smooth jazz event, benefiting Closing the Gap in Healthcare, returns to the Charleston Gaillard Center with a stellar lineup on Labor Day weekend, September 3rd through 5th, 2021. The weekend kicks off on Friday night with the all-white party affair, where you're invited to dress in your best white attire and celebrate the opening night. The artist lineup includes Nick Coleone, Peebo Bryson, Najee, Lindsey Webster, Adam Hawley, Richard Elliott, Rick Braun, and more. The weekend will be full of endless entertainment in the Low Country. Tickets on sale now at GailliardCenter.org. Media powered by SmoothJazz.com Global.
If you're noticing a trend, to show you're right, I do love me some music with a heavy bass line. And as I've often said, in order to make my playlist, it's got to have a little stank on it. The musician taking the top spot on this week's hot list has laid his heavy bass licks in the studio or on the stage with over 144 performers and 11 movie soundtracks in the 4 decades he's been in the music business. And his latest LP is ranked number 1 on SmoothJazz.com's Chartbound 50 list based on upward trending spins from weekly airplay. From his new project, A Little Driving Music, this is Brian Bromberg and Froggies.
and spaces I've been. All the places and spaces I've been. All the places and spaces I've been. All the places and spaces I've been.
You've been listening to What's Hot at the 10 Spot, right here on the radioactive 1 WBOB. Family, as I mentioned previously, the genesis of this program was a blog that I started over 16 years ago. We're going to close tonight's show with a short piece by Langston Hughes that I posted back in 2009. I stand most humbly before man's wisdom, knowing that we're not really wise. If we were, we'd open up the kingdom and make earth happy as the dreamed of skies. Thanks for joining us on the summertime block party just for us grown folks. I'm DJTen, and we'll see you soon.